Welcome in, everyone. Today we're going deep on everyday courage
Ooh, I like that. Everyday courage.
and how a simple technique called the 5-second rule can help all of us break free from hesitation and
Yes,
actually take action towards those goals that, we all have.
absolutely.
So we've got some great material from Mel Robbins, who really brought this whole rule to life,
Yeah, she's fantastic.
and a ton of research
Yes,
and real-world examples to really show how powerful this can be.
so powerful.
And to help us unpack all of this, we are
Yes.
joined by, well, an expert in human behavior and personal development.
That's me. Thanks for having me. Excited to dive in.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
This is going to be good.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What exactly is this 5-second rule?
Well, it's deceptively simple. When you feel yourself wanting to act on a goal,
Okay.
but you hesitate, right?
Yeah.
You're going to count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And then the most important part,
Yeah.
move. Don't think, just move.
I have to admit, when I first heard about this, I was a little skeptical.
Right.
I thought, how can something this simple actually work?
Yeah, I hear you. But that's kind of the beauty of it.
Okay.
It taps into our neurology, how our brains are wired.
Okay.
And you see, when we face uncertainty, our brains, they want to hesitate.
Right.
It's like a survival thing from way back.
So it's like we're hardwired to hesitate.
Yeah, even if it's not a saber-toothed tiger, right?
Right.
It's just, ooh, do I want to go to the gym?
Exactly.
But our brain's like, danger, uncertainty.
That's so funny.
And a lot of that starts in the amygdala,
The amygdala.
which is the part of our brain that deals with fear and emotions,
Oh,
right?
so it's like our brain's alarm system,
Yeah,
even for like everyday things.
all the time, yeah. But the 5-second rule,
Yes.
it's like it interrupts that.
Okay, so how does just counting backwards do that?
Well, by counting down, you shift your focus
Okay.
away from that fear center and you activate your prefrontal cortex.
Now, that's the thinking part, right?
Yes, exactly. The
Yeah.
part that makes decisions.
Okay.
So by the time you hit 1, you've kind of shifted gears mentally
Oh, wow.
and you're ready to move.
So you're kind of outsmarting your brain's natural instinct.
Exactly. Like a little mental hack.
I like that.
And, Mel Robbins herself, she figured this out.
Yeah, I read about
At
that.
a really low point, actually.
Yeah, she was struggling.
Really struggling, hitting the snooze button every morning.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, feeling totally stuck. And then she saw rocket launch on TV.
Rocket launch. Wow.
I know, right? And that countdown
I see where this is going.
gave her this idea.
I'm going to launch myself out of bed.
Uh-huh, yeah. And it worked.
It's amazing how something so small
Mm,
can spark such a big change.
isn't it?
And, it reminds me of other small decisions that can have a huge ripple effect.
Yeah, like what?
Well, like Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on that bus.
Oh, such a powerful moment.
Such a simple act of defiance.
But it ignited a movement.
Exactly. Or that young preacher, like 26 years old,
Yes, super young.
leading the Montgomery bus boycott. It wasn't some big plan. It was a decision made in the moment.
Right, in a moment.
A courageous decision.
That changed history.
And, thinking about that, it makes me think about my own life
Hmm. Yeah.
and those small choices that led to big things.
Yeah, give me an example.
Oh, like finally starting that project I kept putting off,
Oh, I feel that.
or speaking up at work when I usually stay quiet.
It's those little things, right?
It's realizing that courage can show up in everyday moments.
Exactly. Not just these grand gestures.
But even those small acts can feel hard,
Right.
especially when that fear kicks in.
Fear is a big one.
It's a big one for me.
Yeah. We all face it, though.
Yeah.
Whether it's fear of, I don't know, rejection or failure.
Oh, yeah, or looking foolish.
That one gets me.
Mel Robbins even talks about her own daughter almost missing an audition
Oh, really?
because she was terrified of not being good enough.
It's so relatable, though. Even for the most successful people.
And sometimes I think we forget.
Yeah.
Put them on this pedestal.
Like they're superhuman or something.
Exactly. And I was reading that Michelangelo, the artist,
Yeah.
he actually hid from the Pope.
No way, really?
Yeah, to avoid painting the Sistine Chapel,
Because he was scared.
filled with self-doubt.
Oh, wow. And that's the Sistine Chapel? I mean, come on.
It's incredible.
It is. So I guess even geniuses have their doubts.
And then there's Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, the Apple guy.
He was hesitant to leave his safe job.
To co-found Apple. You're kidding.
Nope. And those guys who created Angry Birds,
Yeah, I love that game.
they launched 51 unsuccessful games before they hit it big.
51.
51.
Wow. Okay, so what are you saying?
It's that success isn't just about talent. It's about pushing through self-doubt.
Even when it's scary.
Exactly. But so many of us, we just wait
For what?
for the perfect
Goals
moment.
for the fear to disappear?
Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
You're right. And that's where the 5-second rule comes in,
Aha, okay.
to interrupt that paralysis.
Before the fear takes over.
Exactly.
It's like hijacking your brain
I love that.
and choosing your goals instead of fear.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
And, when we talk about fear holding us back, we have to talk about procrastination.
Oh, yeah. Procrastination, for sure.
It's like fear's best friend.
Definitely. That urge to just put things off, especially when it's something, we don't want to do.
Ugh, yes. But Mel Robbins gives us some really cool insights into why we do it and how this 5-second rule can help us break free.
It's not just laziness like a lot of people think, right?
Right? There's more to it.
It's more complex. We got to differentiate between destructive procrastination
Destructive
and
procrastinating.
something called productive procrastination.
Okay, so destructive procrastination is probably what most of us are familiar with, right?
Yeah, avoiding those must-do tasks, even when it stresses us out later.
Yeah, that cycle of delaying and feeling
It's
guilty.
delaying even more, exactly.
So what's this productive procrastination then?
Well, it can actually be a good thing, especially for creative stuff.
So you're telling me there's a good kind of procrastination.
Haha, yeah, sort of. Think about it. When you're working on something creative, sometimes stepping away from it helps.
Yeah, like letting your mind wander a bit.
Exactly. It's like your subconscious keeps working in the background.
That makes sense.
You might have a breakthrough when you're not even trying.
That happens to me all the time. Like, I get my best ideas when I'm not even thinking about work.
Right. Mel Robbins talks about this with writing her book.
Oh, really?
If she got stuck, she'd just do something else and the solution would just pop up.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like magic sometimes.
But let's go back to the not-so-fun procrastination.
A destructive kind, yeah.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
Well, Dr. Tim Peichel, he's a big procrastination researcher.
Okay.
He says it's often about this disconnect between our present self and our future self.
Ooh, what does that mean?
So our present self wants to feel good right now,
Okay.
even if it means our future self is going to suffer.
Like eating that whole bag of chips, even though I know I'll regret it later.
Exactly. Instant gratification versus long-term goals.
And the 5-second rule can help with that.
Yeah, it can bridge that gap, that countdown. It interrupts that impulse
Okay.
to avoid the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And helps you align with what your future self wants.
It's like an override button.
Yes. Love that. And Mel Robbins has so many stories about people who use the 5-second rule to stop procrastinating in all areas of life.
I bet, like finally starting that business.
Yep. Finishing a PhD, writing a book, all those things that seem overwhelming.
Until they're not.
Exactly.
Now, something else I found fascinating in Mel Robbins' work is the role emotions play in our decisions.
Yeah, that's huge.
We like to think we're logical, but it turns out there's a lot more going on under the surface.
More than we realize. Mel Robbins talks about this neuroscientist, Antonio Damasio, who studied patients with brain damage, specifically in the area that processes emotions.
Oh, wow. So what happened? Did they just become emotionless?
Not exactly, but they couldn't make decisions.
Really?
Even simple ones. They understood the logic, but couldn't choose.
That's so strange.
Yeah, and Damasio concluded that we need emotions to make choices.
So even when we think we're being rational, our feelings are secretly in control.
In a way, yeah. And that's where the 5-second rule comes in again.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
If we just let our emotions run wild, we might end up procrastinating, self-sabotaging,
Missing out on opportunities because of fear or doubt.
Right. So the 5-second rule helps us act before those feelings take over.
So we're not just reacting to our emotions.
We're taking control. You can't always control how you feel, but you can control how you respond.
That's a good point. It's like athletes, they don't always feel like training, but they do it anyway.
Exactly. And look at Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who created Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, I love Hamilton.
He said writing that show took him 6 years.
6 years.
And it was a constant battle with self-doubt. There's this tweet where he's telling his wife he's stuck. And she's like, get back to your piano.
Simple but effective advice.
Right. We all have those moments of wanting to give up.
Oh, yeah.
But the key is to not let those feelings win. We can choose to act anyway.
Choose to show up.
Even when it's hard. That's how we grow.
And you know something else that really resonated with me in Mel Robbins' work? Is this idea of honoring our instincts.
Yeah, those gut
Like our
feelings.
brains are constantly sending us signals,
Little whispers and nudges.
trying to guide us towards what truly matters.
Yeah. Mel Robbins talks about how our brains actually light up when we're near something connected to a goal.
Oh, really?
It's like our subconscious is always working behind the scenes.
Even when we're not aware of it?
Exactly.
Mm.
So if we can just learn to tune into those signals, trust that gut feeling.
We can tap into this incredible source of wisdom.
Totally. Think about all those life-changing inventions that came from those aha moments.
Yeah, like what?
The match, Velcro, the Post-it note, even the Frappuccino,
Uh-huh, the Frappuccino, wow.
all because someone listened to their instincts.
It makes you wonder what amazing ideas are just waiting for us to notice them,
Right. It's about being open to those possibilities.
following those sparks of
As if in
inspiration.
wherever they lead.
This idea of trusting our instincts really hits home for me.
Yeah, me too.
We spend so much time overthinking things, second-guessing ourselves.
And talking ourselves out of taking action.
It's like we have this inner critic whispering doubts and fears.
All the time. But Mel Robbins says, silence that critic.
Yeah.
Listen to your heart, your intuition.
An inner voice.
Ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid?
And then use the 5-second rule to actually do it.
Exactly. There's this story Mel Robbins tells about this guy, Jean-Baptiste.
Okay?
He always dreamed of traveling the world,
Yeah.
but fear held him back for years.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And then one day, he decided he was done waiting, booked a one-way ticket to Thailand, sold his car, quit his job,
Wow.
just went for it.
That's incredible.
It's a reminder that we already have what we need to create the life we want.
We just need to find the courage to go for it.
Mel Robbins talks about how we're all capable of greatness.
Yeah.
Like Ed Sheeran discovered at 15 just playing his music in a park. Or the women who created Broad City, they started by filming sketches on their iPhones.
You're kidding?
Nope. It's about taking that leap of faith.
Starting before you feel ready.
Before you have all the answers.
It's about trusting the process.
One of the most powerful stories Mel Robbins shares is about her own father.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
He was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm.
A very serious thing.
It made her realize how precious life is.
Yeah. And she talks about this conversation she had with him before his surgery.
Right.
And she used the 5-second rule to ask him if he was scared.
And what did he say?
He said he wasn't scared, but he felt lucky.
Hmm.
Lucky to have a chance to fix things.
Wow.
Lucky to have lived a life filled with love and purpose. He said he had no regrets.
That's beautiful.
It really makes you think about how we're spending our own time.
What are we putting off?
Are we living with intention and gratitude?
It's a good reminder to cherish each day.
Say the things that matter, take risks, spend time with loved ones.
Absolutely.
We don't need a near-death experience to start living like that.
Right. We can choose courage in every moment.
In every interaction, every decision.
Mel Robbins leaves us with this question.
Okay.
What's one area where you want to start applying the 5-second rule right now?
It's an invitation to look at our lives and identify those things that are holding us back.
What dreams are we putting on hold?
What changes do we want to see?
It's time to take that first step.
And remember,
You already have the courage.
you just have to unlock it.
So what are you waiting for?
Let's get it down together.
Okay, ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.